Okay, good. Okay, good evening, everyone. Again, my name is PC Reddy, and I've been teaching for BITS Kalani for the last 3-4 semesters here. Again, I'm a guest faculty. So what we will do here is right now. First, I'm sharing my the handout in a Word document. Let me know if you can see the Word document. I know we have the PowerPoint presentation also available, so we're going to switch back to that. But first, I would like to spend a few minutes on the handout and just give you a quick uh, overview, and then we move on to the next steps. Okay, good. So you can see the PowerPoint, the Word document. That's good. Okay, good. Excellent. Okay, good. So what we will do here is I'm not going to see my chart for a few minutes until I go through the handout. But if you have any question during this discussion, please type in your questions on the chat session. I will take up those questions regularly. So, but as I'm sharing my desktop, it's a little slightly difficult for me to switch toggle back and forth. Other than that, I think everything should be fine. So again, thank you for joining today. I know some of you have said online on the Taxila forum that you are not able to see the course schedule for the lectures. So I have posted that in the news item. So you should be able to have that course schedule available online, and also probably the Taxila team will upload that so that you'll have the handout for the class lecture schedule online also. We typically meet Saturday, Sundays, 7:30 p.m. till 9 p.m. It's a 1.5-hour lecture, and I try to be on time. If there is any delay or anything like that, I will post online on Taxila, so you will be able to get an email communication directly from Taxila when I post a news item. So you should be able to check your email or come into the online session where you can see if there is any delay or cancellations. Again, just like I said a couple of minutes ago, I am teaching from a Chicago area in North America here. So there is a significant time difference from where you are in India. And so if you post a news item or if you post any question online, don't expect instantaneous reply. Typically, I will try to do it, but there will be a time difference, so just keep that in mind. But I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. Last semester, we had some problems with the Taxila. Again, it's not because of the technology issue. It is because of the number of users we had last semester. We had almost 1,200 plus students signed up for the course. When we have that much volume of students, and the bandwidth is always an issue. And we have that many students come online, try to download the videos, download the content. It's always a challenge. So again, I reiterate, I want you to be patient with the technology here, and try to attempt 2-3 times if you have downloading issues of any videos, any of the content that you will see on the Taxila forum, because depending on number of students online, it is going to be a challenging. So again, to avoid the downloading issues, I'm going to break the video into 3 smaller videos, like an hour-and-a-half lecture. We'll try to break the video every 30 minutes so that the size of the file is going to be smaller. And then once the videos are available, typically the next day or within 24 to 48 hours, the videos will be uploaded into the Taxila forum under my course ID SSZZ515. So if you go to each lecture, you will have a PowerPoint presentation. If I have any lecture notes that I would like to share, you will find the lecture notes there. And then you will also have the videos. So typically, I will try to have the PowerPoint presentation available to you beforehand, before the lecture, so that if some of you would like to go through that, you can take a look at that and then come prepared with the questions. But it's not a required thing, but I will try to do my best to have the presentations available on Textula before the lecture starts. Then the videos, so like I said, lecture videos will be available a day or two lag, but it will be available, made available to you, so you can download and play on your own desktop or laptop. But just be attentive about the bandwidth issues that we had in the past. So it's nothing to do with the technology. It's just the nature of how many people will come online. So it is just to be bear with that. So with that, let's go on to the handout here. So in the handout, I think we have changed slightly this semester so that it's more clear for you. So instead of having a more text verbiage, so we have put a little bit tabular form so that you can clearly see what's going on. Again, as you see, I go by PC. It's a big name, Chandrasekhar Reddy. It's a very common name in India, but I've been in the US for the last 17, 18 years. So it's very hard for me to spell that name for any of the people that I work with daily. So made my name short. It's a PC. Most of the people call me PC. Don't feel bad to call that name. So I'm okay with that. I'm used to hearing that name. So you can always call me PC when you address email or anything. So be comfortable with that. And again, like I said, data warehousing is it's one of my favorite subjects, and it's one of my passion. Let's put it this way. I've been teaching this class in one of the American universities here in Milwaukee, Marquette University, for the last 5-6 years. I have put together a curriculum myself and introduced this for graduate level students here in Marquette University. So it's a very good curriculum. So we'll go through that, and again, like I said, this course will touch a lot of practical examples, and so that you can understand the concepts easily. And then, so the other points that I would like to highlight is every time I have students for this class with different disciplines, not only computer science background. So those of you coming to this class from a different discipline, if you have any questions, irrespective of how trivial it is, feel free to post that on the Textula forum, or you can ask the question right in the class here, or you can email me. There are different ways you can reach me, but make use of me during this semester so that it will be helpful for not only this class, for any other database classes that you might be taking in the future or you're taking currently. Okay, so with that being said, we'll see here, in this handout. So as you can see here, we have 4 modules in a very high-level aspect, and then in the first module, we touch introduction, concepts about data warehouse design, architecture. Again, the way that I have the way I have created this curriculum is that first half of the semester, that is before the midterm, you touch more concepts, understand the design aspects, understand clear concept about data warehousing, what is data warehousing, why it is used, where it is used. We got to have a clear picture on this concept, and then we go into second half, a little bit more deep dive. So what are the things that we need to learn in order to improve performance, improve the supporting aspects of a data warehouse design, so that in the long run, it will be a product that can be used without any issues. And then also in the second half of the semester, we are also going to touch some advanced concepts like agility. I think some of you already familiar with the terminology like SAP HANA, big data. I think it's a buzzword going around in the industry last 4 or 5 years. So, how can we access some of the reports that are in the data warehouse through a web portal? All of these things, mobile media, all of these questions, I'm sure we will have. So we will take those things as part of second half of the semester. Again, Teradata is one of the technologies that we have for big data. And we're not going to touch too deep into that, but we will cover some of the concepts in that. Again, every database aspect, is slightly different. For example, if you take a product, each product is not unique. It's not going to be the same compared to other one. There will be some unique characteristics of those products. Like for example, if you take an Oracle as a database for your data warehouse, you might have tweaked a little bit to meet that product's unique features. So same thing if you take a Sybase, if you take IBM product like DB2, or if you take any other database product like MySQL, SQL Plus, SQL, Microsoft SQL Server. Any of those databases are good for a data warehouse, but you need to tune to the content that is supported by these database tools. So we're not going to touch any one of them in depth, but we will touch all these database products as and when we take some examples, and I will try to explain, which one might be suitable and things like that. But in my experience, I have worked with Oracle, Sybase, DB2, and MySQL, SQL Server. So for me, it's a database product. So I don't want to attach too much. So here in this course, we are more to learn about data warehousing concepts, and then we'll also touch some other concepts like the front end aspects of how are we going to create these reports, how are we going to run these reports. Some of these tools like Cognos, which is a really good tool that we use for reporting. We have SAP Business Objects. There are a lot of tools out there for reporting purposes, but we will touch some of those aspects as we go in this course. And then, as you can see here, the second module, we talk about dimensional modeling, which is basically a Kimball approach. We'll touch a little bit more in deep, but we will spend a lot of time on this ETL, OLAP. Again, like I'm telling you, some of you are coming from different backgrounds. If I use some of these acronyms, if I don't elaborate, please ask the question so that I should be able to explain a little bit better. ETL is extract, transform, loading. OLAP, online analytical processing systems. Again, OLAP systems are pretty much there for analytical purposes. You're trying to analyze the data. You're trying to do analytics. Again, these are the terminology that you will hear, from the different people in the industry. So if you go and talk to, I'm working in business analytics. So what is business analytics? It's pretty much nothing but data warehousing. I'm working on business objects. Okay, it is also touched closely to the data warehouse. I'm working on a data warehouse. ETL is extract, transform, and load. And then we will touch in depth in the lecture on that. We will cover a very detailed way of understanding how the ETL works and the importance of ETL in the data warehousing and things like that. So, like I said, this whole course is in 4 modules. The first 2 modules will cover before the midterm. Rest of the 2 modules will cover after the midterm. As you can see clearly, it is meticulously created this structure so that we want to understand the core concepts up front, and then when we move to the second half, we can deep dive. We will expand our horizon, going into some advanced concepts, so that when we go and touch these advanced concepts, we already have a strong knowledge about how a data warehouse is designed, how it works, so that it's easy for us to transition and understand. So that is how this is designed. So again, if you go down here, we have 2 textbooks. Again, if you can see here, again, Pranaya Paulraj is author. It's a very simple textbook. I have it here, but I didn't bring it with me. But next time I'll show you the hard copy that I have. But again, it will be available online anywhere. So make sure you try to get a comprehensive guide for IT professionals. And also there are 2 different terminology you will find when you search online. So it's basically data warehousing fundamentals, and then you will touch the second book, which is also a textbook too, which is a reference book, but we will touch some of the concepts from this. So try to loan or see if you can find somewhere online library or something like that, so you can have this book also as a reference, so that we will touch some of the concepts from this book, because as you can see here, dimensional modeling information is available in the first textbook, but in-depth analysis will be found in the second book, which is Kimball is the guru for the dimensional modeling. He's the one who introduced the dimensional modeling. So if you have this book, I think, again, this book is also very easy-going book. You can understand the concepts very easily, irrespective of the discipline you're coming from. In fact, this is my textbook one for the class I teach at Marquette here. So this is my prescribed book here. So it works very good. Try to see if you can get these books. Again, they're very good reference books to understand the concepts. So there are a couple of other books, again, just to understand the data warehousing and database concepts. So again, these reference books, if you don't have it, don't worry, but they're just there for you to refer if you have any questions. But you can always come to me if you have a question on database. We'll always try to address those. Or you can post on Textilla. Some of your friends could address those questions. So again, I'm very much interested in collaboration here. Feel free to post questions on Textilla. Some of your friends that already have some exposure will be able to answer the questions. If I see those answers are correct, I will not comment, but sometimes I would like to add some additional points than what your friends have commented. So it is kind of a collaboration so that we can exchange thoughts, ideas. So feel free to use Textilla as much as possible for those kind of questions. And I will also post some of the discussion topics on Textilla. So I want active participation from all of you in those discussion forums, okay? So yes, one of you are asking, I see a question popped up here. Do we need to buy both textbooks? Again, if you pay attention to the class, if you go through the concepts in the presentations, and if you have one of the books, that should be good. Textbook one is a preferred book, and then textbook two is just a reference, so you don't need to buy that book. But for sure, textbook one is a recommended book for you to purchase. And so let's go with that concept. And then if I go down here, so again, I try to give as much as possible on the references for the topic that we are going to cover. As you can see here, you can do chapter 1 and 2 for textbook 1, chapter 1 here in textbook 2, and then lecture notes. Again, when I say lecture notes, it's the topics that you take notes from the class, and then you also have a presentation, the PowerPoint presentation that you have here. So that is pretty much the lecture notes. So the beauty about this course is I have a lot of interaction from my students. I let my students speak. If they have a question, I will try to unmute you if you have a microphone. So come prepared. If you have a laptop or desktop that is equipped with a microphone, if you would like to ask a question, you can raise your hand on the chat session, and then I can unmute you so you can speak up. So I really encourage that. I strongly encourage you to use your technology if you have a microphone and speak up the question so that others can hear you. Okay. Okay. Let me. Like I said, I'll wait. Let me finish this handout, and then we will we'll go to the questions, because, like I said, I'm sharing my desktop, and it's not an easy way for me to juggle back and forth. We'll take up those questions very soon here. Again, as I said, the first session one, session one is today's session, and we'll touch some of those concepts as we go. And then again, we'll see here, session 2, we have some other topics, session 3. So you can just go through this handout very easy, because I try to be a little bit more explicit on some of these points that we are going to cover, and chapters where you can find some of the details that we're going to cover in this course. So looks like I have used ETL. Again, it's a typo. But anyway, so I think you will be able to find these concepts and lecture notes and things like that. Here you can see, for example, Agile data warehouse design. You pretty much have to follow my PowerPoint presentation and what we discuss in the class. That is what is your material for preparing this. Okay, so Hadoop and HANA. So I will try to find a lot of online resources for this, and then we will share and discuss in the class. So that would be your material for preparation. So it is very much important for you to find time to attend this class online. I'm always there to answer the questions. If you can't attend, try to watch the videos so that you have all the information for the lectures. Okay, so coming to the evaluation components of this, as you can see here, you have 3 quizzes, each 5% weightage for EC1 component. Again, you have the timeline here. Try to make yourself available to take these quizzes during that time period. I will try to make sure the quizzes are available online before that time period so that there is no miscommunication. And then you have EC2, which is 35%, is a closed book, and EC3 is an open book. Again, in my view, open book is it's always, this is how I look at it. Open book means not opening the books and opening your mind, opening your brain. So I want you to think. We need to really think to answer the questions, because this is one of the things I always tell my students. For open book test, I want you to be as relaxed as possible. Try to come prepared for the class, and then try to read the question, try to understand, and then try to put your thoughts into the answer. So that is how I look at it. If you try to open the book and see, you'll waste time most of the time. So I think some of you already experienced with that. But anyway, so that is how my evaluation is going to be, and then you will have a proper communication from the BITS team on these things, and I will try to post online when these will be available, so that you can take those quizzes online, and then it will be easy for everyone. Okay, so with that being said, I think we have that's all I think in this handout. So again, this handout is available online, so you can download and take a look at it, but I would like to spend some time on this so that it is all clear. So let me stop sharing my desktop. Now we are back to a friendly format that I can see here. Okay, let's see, somebody raised their hand. Okay, so Vikas Kumar Gupta. Okay, good. I'm going to unmute you because let's see how good this technology works from your end. So let me see. I'm going to unmute you and see if we can speak up. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Vikas.
Sir, hi.
Okay, I can hear you very well. Good, clear.
Yeah, sir. Actually, I am learning big data and data analytics in nowadays. Okay, so I want to know how this course will help me in learning further.
Okay, okay, let me put it this. The big data concepts that you are going to learn might be slightly different than what we are going to cover in this course, because this course is more geared towards the data warehouse design that is going to be more practical usage for the corporate companies, where they would like to do the analysis of the data and come up with the new products, new solutions based on the analytics they do. Again, the big data these days are more towards analyzing the stream of data that we have online, or large volume of video files, large volume of PDF files that are out there, and then you'd like to analyze that. So you might overlap some of the concepts, but for sure, you could see the difference between what you're learning today and then what is covered in this class. So we will try to complement each other, and then for sure you can share what you're learning as we go, and then we can see how those things will interact with each other in this course and the topics that you're learning in the big data aspects. Okay. Okay, let me clear this. Any other questions that anyone would like to speak online that you have the microphone? Again, I strongly encourage you to speak up because it will give a change in tone. Sometimes it's always good to have somebody else speak up. So if I'm tired or something like that, if somebody else's voice change, immediately we alert. So it's always good. I like that concept. That's why I would like to give that opportunity. And also sometimes I feel comfortable to speak than type. I might not express clearly when I'm typing a question. I'm more comfortable asking questions online if I have an opportunity. So yes, there is no assignments for this course. We have In the past, I had a couple of assignments. It was really good. You can take a look at some of the past assignments. They're more practical oriented. It gives a lot of opportunity for you to learn. But again, because of the way we handle this course, the distance learning, sometimes it's always not easy for us to handle those. So what I did was the last semester I switched to quizzes. So this semester also I'm going to only have quizzes, only have 3 quizzes. So I think that that will that's all for this course, no assignments. But I am going to share the previous assignments online so that you can go through them, and I'll try to upload those with the solution so that you can also get an idea what those assignments are and how they are. It's really interesting ones, more practical oriented. So let me take a few minutes before we break the break out for the video break. So let me take some of the questions. I know some of you have been typing the questions. Okay, we answered why do we need to buy those books. I said the answer that question. Kindly repeat EPTL. I think we talked about it. Data warehouse and database. Okay, yes, the database is a place where you hold the data. Okay, very simple terminology. And data warehouse is an architecture that lies over on the database so that you can extract the data, do whatever analysis you would like to do, and then make some strategic decisions for the company. Okay, let's me put that. That's how I look at it. Data warehouse is one that doesn't exist if you don't have a database, because you need to have a database where you have the data present. So you're extracting the data the way you would like to extract, and do the analysis the way you would like to do the analysis, and propose or prepare some meaningful decisions for the organization so that organizations can be benefited with those. A very simple example is you have a lot of historical data in the database in case of data warehouses. So the historical data is like let's say last year's and 2 years worth of sales information. So using that information, you will be able to make some strategic decisions. For example, let us say now it is January of 2015. You want to come up with a new product in January. So you would like to see what products sold well in 2014 January or 2013 January time frame, the first quarter of 2014, first quarter of 2013. So that gives some insight for you, okay? Hey, this year we had really good sales on this because of these economic conditions. This year we had this. So we had a similar economic conditions in 2015. Can we reintroduce those products in the same period? So it's just, again, there is no such rule that, okay, whatever decision you make in the data, based on the data warehouse is going to result 100% positive results, but it is just an educated guess based on the data analysis that you have in front of you. That is all it is. You can't question the management, okay, why you made this decision, okay, because of this conditions we do it. So it's just one of those situations where you have to believe in the data analytics. So based on that, we move forward. So I think that is how I would explain the difference between data warehouse and database. I hope it is clear. Okay. Okay, I have there's too many questions here, so let me go quickly. So I said video recorded lectures will be uploaded, available. So if you can't attend for any lecture, you can always download and take a look at it. We're trying to do a specialization in analytics. I have selected this subject as first elective. We need to study this subject as one of the first subjects for data analytics specialization. Okay, so data analytics, we have a couple of lectures on that for sure. There's no question about it. There are two things, how I would like to view this. There are people who doesn't take data warehouse, and they can still claim I'm a data analytics specialist by taking a class outside for a 2-day course, a 3-day course on pure data analytics. And we have tools that only does data analytics. Okay, so what does the data analytics tools do? Like, okay, so the tool will tell you extract this data, do this kind of analysis, slicing, dicing, move the data in this way, move the data in this way, create this report in this format. That's all data analytics. But in this course specifically, what we are going to do is not only the tool part of it, doing the data analytics, we are also going to understand how we are going to prepare the data in such a way that this tool can work effectively, efficiently, and then give meaningful results for you. That is what we are going to cover in this course. So for sure it's going to help you, because any knowledge that we're going to gain in this course is going to be a strength for a data analytics person. I'm going to give you a very good example. We had a team that was supporting us from a company from India. Again, that team was managing our data warehousing application from SAP product, and we had a very strong team. Like there are 3 or 4 resources who are here in the US that time, and these people were excellent resources in that technology, SAP BW, which is an analytics tool, and they know in and out how to configure, how to play, how to create a cube, how to create a report, how to analyze the data, move on back and forth. Everything they're excellent. And when we have a problem on a performance, I ask, can you go deep dive and see what kind of index was created on this? Can you see, can you go back trace it? Oh, I can't go because that's all more in-depth SAP. I need to go to SAP to add that concept. Okay, so is that true answer? Yes. For him, it is correct. There's no question about it, because his boundary is the tool, the analytic tool. But if you are, if you know some of the things a little bit, an expanded horizon, an expanded scope of that, you can think beyond that. The way that he addresses that issue is open a ticket to SAP and wait for SAP to reply. SAP might come back next day saying, okay, you might create this index on this table, which will improve the performance. Okay, or they might come back 3 days later if SAP team is busy in Germany, so they might come back 3 days later or 5 days later. So you are just waiting for their mercy, their answer. But if you have a knowledge about, okay, this could be the reason, you could go in that direction, try to find the problem yourself, and try to fix yourself, and it could be, a kind of encouragement for you and things like that. So same thing. So the question that you're asking, analytics, for sure, we're going to touch some of the concepts in this course. But I would like to say we are going to go beyond data analytics. We're trying to provide a concept that is going to build the database so that it will help the analytics portion of it. Okay. So hope I answered for your question there, Mr. Murali there. So I'm not able to view the handout. Okay, I'm sorry. So you should be able to download the handout from the Texela forum, which is already available. So please download and take a look at it. So it's too late now. I already shared. So I'm sorry I didn't see your question. And again, another request for me is when you try to log in to the online session here, try to put your name, whatever name you would like to call, shortcut initials, whatever it is, so it's easy for me to address. So if I see the bits ID, so it's very difficult for me to personalize. Okay, today is fine, but try to give the names. If you don't want to explicitly tell your name, that's fine for me. If you want to hide, that's okay. But it's easy for me, like for example, Murali said I could answer him. Okay, Murali, this is what it is. So it's more personalized. Try to put your name. That's perfect. It will be helpful for me and you. Okay, so let's see. Teradata, I think we touched on that. Okay, data warehouse database, we touched on that. ETL, we touched. Okay, we talked about that. Okay, so I think it's already 34 minutes for this video. So what I will do is I'm going to break the video and then come back quickly. Okay, so let me stop the video. Smaller files for you to download. Okay, so let me go back here. Okay, so we talked about, okay. So are we going to have any practicals? Okay, that's a good question. I have not done any practical examples in this course because it's more what I would say is some of the tools that you have here is too broad in nature. There's too many tools out there in the market. There are too many concepts that we are going to cover in this course. It's very difficult for us to pick and choose which one to be practical, used used in the practical oriented way. So it is free for you to download SQL Server Student Edition and start playing, creating a simple data warehouse. And then SQL Server also comes with the data warehousing tools. You can play with them. And that is what I have done with some of my students here in Marquette, especially for a distance learning course. It's more difficult. So feel free to use some of those and start practicing. If you have any questions, we will do it. But there is no practical oriented assignments or practical oriented evaluation components for this course. Big data analytics learn, I think we already answered that question. Okay, it is available offline pretty soon, and the recording will be there in a couple of days online in the Taxila forum. Do we really need any database experience before going to this course? Okay, that is a good question, Mr. Tanuj Kumar Sharma. I'm telling you again, you don't need any database experience to understand the concepts we learn in this course, because the course is designed in such a way that I will take lot examples, practical examples that I have experience in my work experience. So you'll be able to follow very easily. Again, I always tell my students that a database or a data warehouse is more common sense. Okay, so a common sense in the sense, you just stay back, relax, and think about it, and then you should be able to make an educated answer for a simple solution. Okay, so that is how it is, so most of the things that you will be able to at least guess very closely. So you don't need a database experience, but if you have, it is a plus. And many times I have my students with the database experience. Some of them are database administrators, and they have a very in-depth knowledge in database. But they also appreciate this course because we go beyond database, because we turn the table and say how we're going to design the data warehouse in such a way it's completely different than what you design a typical database application. An example could be, let us say you go into an airline reservation system. You go and try to reserve a ticket in airlines, any airlines in India, you want to reserve a ticket in the railways, Indian Railways, those applications are database applications. The way they design that application is completely different than what we design a data warehouse application. So, we learn those concepts here. So you will appreciate as we go in this course. But feel free, if you don't have any experience, if you hear some terminology that doesn't get you, don't hesitate to drop an email, post on the Taxila. We'll try to address those questions. Okay, last year's papers. Yes, we will have those things available too. I will make them available. I know it will help you prepare. I will make them available online slowly as soon as we get here. Do we really need any database? Okay, that we answered that question. Do we have any plan to take session in the weekdays? Okay, so we tried that one of the semesters weekdays. It worked okay, but for many people in the weekdays, it's tough with all the work schedule and everything. And then also for me, because I'm too far away and I work too, so it's the family and everything. I prefer Saturdays, Sundays, so that it is easy for me and also for many of the students who could attend on a weekend, unless you have weekend plans. It's here in North America right now. It is 8:40 in the morning. So still some of my kids are still sleeping, hopefully. So it works okay for me. So by the time they get up, my class is over. Okay. So again, I'm sorry I can't switch to weekdays, but I think it worked well. I think so far the last two semesters I've been doing in the Saturdays, Sundays, it is working okay. But again, if you can't make it for any because of you have a weekend party or weekend plans, so you could always download the video and watch and come back with the questions later. No assignments, we already said that. Do we need to also answer this question related to big data versus data warehouse? Yes, Mr. Suresh, I think we will touch as we go. We have a topic on big data we'll cover, and we were going to exchange some of the thoughts, the differences between those two areas. Anyway, we'll cover those. Okay, okay. What is the difference between data mining and data warehousing? Okay, that's a very good question again. Um, okay, in the last semester, I can tell you one thing. Right in the Marquette University that I teach, there were students who were taking my class, data warehousing class. We're also taking a class on data analytics or the business intelligence. I'm sorry, they were also taking class in business intelligence. So I asked the question right in the day one. I asked my students. I want to hear from them if we are going to cover the same topics in both classes. Business intelligence is a subsection of data warehouse. Okay, business intelligence is a front-end portion. We are going to cover some of the topics, but business intelligence class will go into deep dive of some of the tools that will help business intelligence, just like I said, data analytics. So data mining and data warehouse is completely different. Okay, data mining works more on their mining algorithms and things like that. Data warehousing is designed in such a way that it is more taking the business data and analyzing and making strategic decisions. So you will see significant differences. And also, if you're taking a data mining course this semester, I really appreciate you come back with the feedback. Do you see the difference yourself? Because I'm taking data mining and data warehousing, how they are complementing each other. I'm sure there are some of the concepts that go overlap, but very minimal. If you choose to take data mining course, please go ahead and take the course. It's completely different. Raj Kumar, you would like to speak? Okay. Let's see, where are you here? Okay, good. Okay, go ahead, Raj Kumar. I have unmuted you. See, let us see if it works.
Yeah. Hi, BC. Good morning.
Yes, I can hear you well. Good.
I'm audible?
Yes, very clear.
Okay. Good. PC, the thing is that this one data warehouse, will this session will be like conceptual or like some practical things will be involved in that, like some tool walkthrough, something like that, or programming will also be included in that?
Okay, so let me answer that question very well. So there won't be any programming assignments or programming per se in this course, but I will show you some of the program examples that will be used in the data warehouse design so that you understand what it looks like. And we will also take more practical examples so that you understand the concepts very well. And also, like I said, in this course, we have an architecture, data warehousing architecture. We're going to expand each component one at a time. So we start with a more minimal, bare minimal architecture, slowly adding on things so that you can clearly understand. At the end of the semester, you will know what is all about data warehousing and what all things are entitled in this course. So I would like to put it that way. So there won't be any practical examples that I will ask you to do, or there will be no programming as such. But in order for you to implement some of these things, you need to know the programming aspects of it. So I will show some examples mainly, and then you should be able to use them, and you can practice those things. As long as you understand the concepts, you should be able to go from there. Okay, that is how this course is designed, Mr. Rajkumar.
I think BC, one more thing. The thing is that you just told a minute before that SQL Server we can use for that, and some tools you will suggest for that. So it would be very better for us, like if you can suggest some tool and the configuration with SQL Server.
Yes, I can suggest some of them. Because I think SQL Server itself will come with a lot of BI tools. It's an expanded product, so I will post that online, but for sure, yes, you can download the educate student version free, and then you can start practicing some of those things. But some of the features all the features might not be available in the free version, so you might need to get some level of you need to pay some. I don't know how much it is, but you need to pay to get a version that can be worked very well with the database and all those concepts. But I think SQL Server is one of the easiest way, I would say. You can put something in place, and also here in North America, I've seen some of the big companies are using SQL Server databases for their data warehouses. So they are really robust. They do support big databases, very large databases, and also very big analytic queries. So it's a good database as a startup, as well as for the companies also to use this. So again, you can decide how much money you would like to spend and things like that. But those are the tools that I would go. Okay, I'll recommend those. Sure. Okay, so data warehousing. Okay, I already explained data warehousing and data mining. So they're similar but not same. So I would answer that way. Pradeep, can someone help? How can I post my questions? You are you're typing there after posting a question. You can type Mr. Pradeep whatever you would like to, or if you want to speak up, I can unmute you unless you have a nice have a microphone there, because sometimes you get echo and all that. But we'll always give it a try. So it looks like I lost Pradeep. I see here. So I have unmuted you, Pradeep. If you want to speak, let's see if it works.
Thanks, PC. Actually, I just wanted to ask, do we need to have BI knowledge of, as well? Like, does DW and BI go hand in hand?
A good question. So that's what I was telling. Business intelligence tools and data warehouse. Okay, they are, if you don't have a BI tool for a data warehouse, then I would say you have built everything, but you don't have, you cooked a good meal, but you don't have given enough, let us say you have really cooked a nice meal where you can only eat with forks. And if you don't have a fork there, and what good it is. Same thing, data warehouse design, you can design a very good data warehouse, but you need to have a tool that will help you to analyze the data in an easy and efficient way. So business intelligence is the tools that will sit on top of data warehouse. Just like I said, a database. Let me go here quickly. Just 1 second. Share. I thought I can. Or I can open a blank page here and do something. Share whiteboard. Okay, that's good. See here. So, like I said before, so you have a database here. Okay. So here is your database here, and then so you have data warehouse application sits on top of this. Okay. So you have a data warehouse application sits on top of data warehouse, and then you have business intelligence tool. BI tools will try to extract the data out of this data warehouse and do the analysis. Okay, they try to pull the data from the data warehouse and do the analysis, and then all the users are here. So all the users are, so let us say, So you have user community, so that is using these tools. So all the users are using these BI tools that connect to the data warehouse, pull the data, do the analysis. So we are in this course, we are going to touch BI tools. We are going to give an example. I'm going to give an example of the tool. I'll show you how the tool works, what are the capabilities of the tools. I have SAP BW, I think one full lecture presentation there. We'll touch Cognos, which is also a BI tool. Business Objects is a BI tool. There are a lot of BI tools out there in the market, not only these big name products. We have a lot of smaller vendor products also out there, which also meet the needs of the organization. So whatever BI tool we have, business intelligence tool we have, so they work really good with if you have a strong data warehouse. Again, I have seen many situations. Some of these vendors, BI tool vendors, they also try to sell you a product saying, you don't need this. You're wasting your time building a data warehouse. I can do everything myself. I can extract the data from any database and build kind of a data mart or star schema myself and give the reporting capabilities to you. If I agree with them, yes, I agree to them to a certain extent. In such a way that yes, they are correct. Some of these BI tools do build a star schema, do build a kind of data mart right here, directly connecting to a database. Directly connecting to the database. Okay, so they can directly connect to the database and build something and make the report available to the user. But is that a good approach? That's my question. Because the problem for me is in that case is if there are changes in the database and if you don't know how this tool works, then you're depending on the vendor because these vendors are really expensive. They're not cheap. So if you want any help from them, okay, I have some changes in my database and I want to change the way that you have designed. So you pay for them whatever cost they are charging. So and they will come and do it. But it's not easy for you to go in and tweak the model that they built for you. So they do sell, the second marketing technique that, okay, if I have a BI tool, you're done, you don't need a data warehouse. But having a data warehouse design, it will give control for you, it will help you manage the data yourself. You know how the data is flowing, you build it in such a way that, you can always, let us say, if underlying database architecture changed, underlying business process is changed. So when there is a business process change, accordingly, you will change your business model embedded into the database. And then that particular changes also need to be expanded into the data warehouse. And as you know, these all inside your organization, you can easily expand those things. And then this tool will automatically work according to that. So again, to answer your question, Mr. Pradeep, BI tools go hand in hand with the BI business data warehouse. Okay, so if you have built a data warehouse, if you don't have a sophisticated BI tool, I don't say that you can't do any analysis. You can do with the standard SQL analysis, and you can build your own some kind of reporting on top of this, and then you can play with it. But these days in the marketplace, there are very, very good BI tools out there where you can buy, and then you can link to your data warehouse, and then it just do a great, phenomenal job for analytics. Okay, so that's where I'll stop, and we'll go in deep as we go in this course. Okay, let's see other questions. So we already talked about practicals. SAP is not an analytics. Is it a SQL query and reporting? SAP BW is SAP Business Warehouse, is tightly integrated with SAP technology. It's kind of a business warehouse. We build the cubes, we build the reporting on top of it. It's more analytics tool where you do the analysis on the data that you have there. And again, SAP BW is a packaged product. That means it has the standard deliverables already there for like a lot of reports and the cubes out there. You just configure and then they're available to you. You don't need to think and design anything because it's a product solution. So it's like a on-the-shelf solution where you buy and then You just enable, for example, if you have a sales cube, just enable the cube and then data is loaded and the report is available, and then users can directly use it. But if you don't have that, if you have a Cognos, you need to build these cubes manually, design, and then build the cubes yourself. So there is a difference there. Okay, so we're going to take some examples on that. Okay. Then data mining. Okay, we talked about the data warehouse, data mining. Is the data warehouse concept only for OLAP and OLTP database, not OLTP databases? Good question, Mr. Anand. You're introducing new concepts here, OLAP, OLTP. OLTP is online transaction processing systems. Some of the examples that I gave a few minutes ago, like airline reservation system, railway reservation system, or any other retail business. Let's say you go to a retail shop, and then people try to scan the product and then automatically summarize the sales of what you purchased, and then at the end you pay with the cash or credit, whatever it is, debit. You do those transactions. Those are all OLTP system, online transactional processing system. So more transaction based. Okay, so transactional based processing systems are pretty much, I would say, stay here in this database area. Okay, so databases like Oracle, Sybase, DB2, SQL Server, MySQL, whatever it is, use those databases and build a system that supports analytical online transaction process. Okay, so transactions could be anything. It's let us say you have an online business. You sell online and ship the product and take the orders online, or sometimes you have a phone processing where you take the phone orders through phone and enter in the system, and then somebody will ship the product, and then you pay the product through PayPal or credit card or whatever means it is. So those are all transaction processing systems. And OLAP is, like I said, you extract the data from this transactional system into a data warehouse, which is online analytical processing systems, and then you try to do analysis on the data. So it's very important for us to understand that a database is a database for analytics, the transaction processing system, and then you extract this data and put it onto a data warehouse where you do the analysis on the data warehouse. Okay, we're going to touch those concepts in this course. Okay, so will big data eliminate data warehouse in the future? Okay, good question, Mr. Sugavarnan. Okay. Is that a choice? I don't think so. Big data has its own marketplace. Data warehouse has its own marketplace. Okay, so for example, like I said before, big data is more geared these days because we are more like a Facebook, Twitter, and those kind of unstructured data. There's a lot of unstructured data floating around. And we would like to still analyze this on structured data based on the user behaviors and all those things, and we come up with some of these interesting business models. For example, I was online on the other day. I was trying to buy something, and I decided, okay, I don't want now, so we'll come back later. So every time I go online, immediately they show all these kinds of, okay, PC, you searched on this before, probably you might be interested in this website. You have these similar products. I said, man. So all these things that they're doing with the help of data mining and big data, all those things, they're doing those kind of things. Using user behavior patterns, they're trying to project, sell more products, bring on to you, see if you click that, and then you can generate the attention there. But data warehouse applications are more geared towards organizations where you have different management structures, like a strategic management, like a vice presidents, CEOs, and management and the directors and all those people that would like to use the data, make some strategic decisions, or you have operational managers who would like to see, okay, what we did last week and how we are doing this week. If things are going slow, how we can tweak parameters and make adjustments so that we don't fall back in our projections and things like that. And then day-to-day operations. Sometimes we will say these people have to pick these shipments So you print a report and send it to those people so that they have things out there in front of them so that they can take processing day-to-day operations. So a data warehouse application will support strategic managers, middle managers, operational managers. So it's slightly different, the concepts wise on the big data and the data warehouse. So you can always argue, and we'll always have some interesting points there to discuss. Okay, but I would say I would stop right there. The discussion will go in detail as we go in this course. Okay, recorded sessions we already talked. They will be available. What tools need to be installed? Mr. Raghav, I don't think we need to install any tools for this course. You have my material. You come to the class, and we should be good. So we'll go from there. We talked about this big data concept. Yes, we'll touch those concepts as we go into the course. As it is online course, but I want your suggestion that what strategies we should follow during course that we can learn more and more like regular students. Okay, Pooja Pandey, that's an interesting question. Yes, this course that I have done in the last 4 semesters, you will see completely different than what other courses are handled because I would like to entertain more students involved in the course. I want you to speak if you have a question. The reason why I entertain that because it is going to enrich the material that that we have in this course. You would be surprised because we have not even touched a single slide so far. It's already 1 hour past. I don't mind with that because I would like to answer all the questions that you have because the point is that has more value in it because if it is a similar question I'm skipping anyway, but there are some questions that are more instantaneous which will go outside my topic that I want to cover, but that is going to give more breadth to this course. So that's why I encourage you to ask questions and we will answer those questions and we'll touch the material. Anyway, material is there in the book, material is there in the PowerPoint presentations. So, we can always go back to that and we can cover. But the instantaneous questions that you come, the instantaneous answers I present to you is what the richness of this course. So let's use that and then, that is going to really help you to be pretty much like a real time because you can see here I'm in Chicago here outside what is the temperature? It's like 0 degrees probably Fahrenheit. I'm not talking centigrade here, and 0 degrees literally. Last couple of days we had -20 degrees Fahrenheit, not centigrade again. It's really cold, white stuff all around, snow like almost 10 inches outside. Kids could play, and you hate to go into the snow, but that is reality. And we are so far away, but we make this like a regular student. So that's why I'm telling use Textila Forum as much possible. The last semester what I was able to do is I was able to link that to my email so that I don't miss too much action there. You should be able to get more feedback from me regularly. And always you can feel free to post the questions here, ask questions if you have a microphone. We'll make as much as possible that you are like a regular student, you feel like you're sitting in a classroom, you can hear other students asking questions. That is my intention here, so let's make this work, okay? Hope that will help Pooja there. So I'd like to know the kind of questions, theoretical questions we would have, okay? I don't know the name here, there's a bits ID there, it's interesting. You're too early for the question paper, like I said. Even if I think about the question paper now, I won't think because like I said, my questions on the open book test are, you won't find anywhere in the book. You need to think, you need to attend the class, you need to ask questions. Some of the students' questions might be in the exam. So, feel free to attend the question, ask questions. That itself is going to help your exams. Don't think too much about exams right now. So let's try to understand the concepts, okay? Again, good thing you didn't post your name there. So again, I'm joking here. So I like to have the names there so that it's more personalized. Rajat Agarwal, your email ID. Yes, it is on the online. It's BITS email address. So I will post it. It's not a problem. I will make that available online. Do you know the exam schedule? I need to plan my okay. Well, that will be available. BITS will make that schedule available. But for myself, I will have the quiz schedule. I think it's already in the handout, so you can see that. But quizzes you can take anywhere, just online quiz. But for the exams, you need to go to the location, so you plan accordingly. Okay. I would like to know the kind of question. Okay, we talked about that. Does data warehouse and BI go hand in hand? I think we already touched on this topic. Pentaho is open source tool. Okay, that's a good one. I think whoever is the name here, I don't have the name. It's a BITS ID. Yes, Pentaho is one of the tools. Recently, I have a student who took my class 2 semesters ago. He came back to me, asked me a question. He's trying to do the dissertation in BITS, that he would like to use that Pentaho tool and build some product as part of his dissertation. I did say that that's a good tool. I heard very good feedback on that. It's an open source tool. Feel free to use that. That's a good one. For becoming data analyst, what all subjects we need to elaborate, like data warehouse and data mining. We'll touch that 1, 2, 3, 5, 9. Okay, as I don't have the name there. Data warehouse, Manish, database and data warehouse could handle multiple heterogeneous databases. Yeah, we'll touch those things, databases and all that. Okay, BI work as data mining tool. Okay, we'll touch that a little bit more. Banking also OLTP. Yes, internet banking is also OLTP application. That's right. Yeah, it's a OLTP application, internet banking and all of those applications. Which type of data warehouse content contains its support structure and structures and semi-structure or type of specific data type? Data warehouse mostly supports structured data, which in other words transactional data. I work more with the transactional data, like okay, this sale has happened here and this shipment has happened here. So we use that information and try to do the analysis. These claims are processed here. So it's a concrete transaction. It's a transaction that is going to be integral part of any business. Let us say I have a business, a retail business. What is my integral part of my business? I need to do the transaction, sales. Sales is my integral part of business. So whatever sales transactions I captured, that will be part of my data warehouse. So it's more structured data. Okay. Data warehouse always unstructured. Yes, that's right. Textbook really needed. Yes, I would recommend to buy at least one of the books that is prescribed. Manage this with your materials and lectures. Yes, you can manage pretty much with my lectures and materials, but I think I always strongly recommend to have the book because book gives more detailed explanation with some different examples than what I take in the class. So it's good to have one of the books. The database and data warehouse again. I think we have the board here, whiteboard here. Database is in the middle, data warehouse is on top of it. I think we'll go more detail as we go, but let us stay here with this concept for this class today. Okay. What is your personal opinion about compared to regular course? I've never seen the difference because I was a big student while I was in India. So I was on campus. When we started way in the beginning, when I was a student way back in '95, they had a same distance learning program. They never had this technology where you could see the professor teaching a class and then and then go through the material. It's pretty much very much self study. So now they have expanded it. So it's pretty much now I would say there's not much difference between a WILP and regular course. You have faculty available to ask questions and you can see them online and what else you need. So it's pretty much lecture in front of you in your house. So I would say that. Textbook really needed. I think we answered that question. Unstructured data warehouse for unstructured data. We'll take some examples. I think on unstructured data. We'll take Hadoop is one of the good examples for unstructured data, but we'll touch those concepts as we go into the course. Refer a cube in the example. Yes, a cube is a multi-dimensional analysis source. We built that using technology that is out there in the marketplace. And once we build a cube, it will help analyze the data in different dimensions. Typically a report, a flat report is a two-dimensional report. You have rows and columns. Here in a multi-dimensional cube, we have data analyzed in multiple dimensions to see the data quickly. So we will touch those examples as we go. Hearing Tableau tool, yes, we have those tools. Do we need to have an idea of data? Excel, data warehouse, Tableau. Okay, we'll touch those examples. Tableau is a BI tool. So Excel is also, these days Excel is so powerful. People are using Excel for many things, for project management, storing large set of data there and doing pivot tables and power pivot tables. There's a lot of things. Excel is also one of the best tools out there. So we'll touch some of those points there. Database follows mathematical model. Is there a mathematical model follow a data warehouse? No, data warehouses, we don't use any of the mathematical models, but it is more based on the database data that you have. So we'll cover those concepts. Always be in SQL. How do we build data warehouse and database on legacy systems? Yes, typically the data that you have in legacy systems like a mainframe systems and all that, you need to extract out and put it into a database that can support the data warehouse aspects of it. So typically I would recommend move the data into a SQL database, some kind of a database that supports SQL, so that it can we can build these data warehouse models. So in fact, in our organizations, we have a legacy systems like a mainframe data and all that. We extract and put it into the data warehouse application, and then we do the analysis. So that's part of the life. Data applied to real-time systems. Real-time systems, yes. In other words, if you're talking about a lot of real-time data, streaming data and all that, I won't say data warehouse is a place for it. But any real-time applications that we have today, pretty much like all of these applications are real-time applications. Like you would like to get the data, and and also data warehouse. To answer your question clearly here, Mr. Gangeshwar, is that you have data warehouse, typically a day-old data. You can have real-time data immediately in the data warehouse. That is also another point I would explain as we go into the course. So like I said, you have the database which is in the middle here that has the real-time data. Anytime there's a transaction happening, immediately you can go and query, you will have the transaction there because it is processed. Whereas data warehouse, you need to extract and push it into the data warehouse. It is going to take some time. So that is the concept that we're going to learn in this course, what it is and all that, okay? So let me break the video again and come back. It's already 30 minutes past, so 38 minutes. Okay, excellent. I think I'm very happy. You're very interesting. A lot of questions. I really appreciate those questions. Again, some of you are already thinking, oh, PC is going completely off hand here. Don't worry about it. We will catch up as we go into the course. And again, sometimes what I will do is I will shift the questions towards in the middle or towards the end of the class. And in one of the semesters, what I did was, if there are too many questions, I also pushed all the way to the end and then finished my material. And then I took the questions so that if people have to leave, they'll leave and then come back and see the recorded session for those answers. So we do, it's a mixed blend of lecturing here so that, so that we cover the material in the course that I would like to cover in this class, okay? So we have 15 minutes to cover my, 40 slides here. It's not realistic, but we'll see what we can cover. Okay, but again, feel free to ask questions. I really appreciate your participating in this class. Okay, so we touched some of these questions. OLAP and OLTP. Again, OLTP is an operational system, as you can see here. It's an operational system, the day-to-day operational system that support day-to-day operations like instantaneous real-time systems. Get the data into the database right away, take an order, process the claim, make the shipment, generate an invoice. All of these are examples, or good examples for operating system operational systems, or OLTP, online transactional processing systems. Okay, so data warehousing system, OLAP, so online analytical processing system, analytics. You see the difference here, analytics, transaction. So that itself speaks a lot about these definitions. Okay, so data warehousing systems support strategic decisions for the top management and operational decisions for operational management, and for middle management, managerial decisions. Okay, these systems get the database out of the database. You can see the difference. Get the database out, get the data into the database. So operational systems, whenever transaction happens, they insert the data into the database. Whereas in a data warehouse, you take the data from this and put it here, make it ready, available, and once the data is available in the data warehouse, we are only extracting and doing analysis. You never put back the data into it. Okay, as a user, if I am a data warehouse user, I typically don't insert the data into the data warehouse. Okay, so there will be some power users might be inserting some data to support the analysis, but typical end users don't have any control inserting data into the data warehouse. It's pretty much extract, extract, extract. Okay, and then do the analysis. So what is the examples is show top selling products, show problem regions. What are the regions that are having problem in this area, in this time frame? Show the highest margins in the products that we have. Alerts and thresholds. These are all different examples that you're going to run analysis with. Okay, so I think as you can see here, it's very clear, clearly defined differences between OLAP and OLTP. So I think we took some examples already in the past, and I think this slide will give you more in-depth analysis, very clear thought, so that it's clear for us. Highlight transactional processing here, analytical processing. Okay, so again, you can see the difference here between an operational systems. Basic processing is done. So you extract the data, which is called data transformation. So ETL, extract, transform, and then load into the data warehouse. And then here in this, the executives, managers, they extract the data, do the analysis. Okay, so what data you load into the data warehouse? You load the key measurements, so that are there for you to analyze the data. So let us say you're an auto manufacturer. So you would like to see what are the claims that you have on your auto manufacturer. Okay, let us say you're a car manufacturer. You would like to see what are the claims that you have on the cars. Okay, the defective products and whatever it is, so that you can do the analysis. Why this product is going so much defective in the last couple of years, whereas before that everything was perfectly fine. So it just gives more analytics power based on the data. So that is why we are interested in the measurements. What are the measurements that you would like to capture in the data warehouse? You are going to make those decisions up front. Am I going to store my measurements, like sales is one of measurements, claims is another measurement. Those are the things that you need to decide up front. And then dimensions. What are the dimensions of analytics that you would like to do? I would like to analyze the data based on the customer sales. So I have North American customers, I have European customers, I have APAC customers, I have Latin American customers. So what are these customers looking for? What are the sales that are really dominating in these different regions? I have Northern India, Southern India. What are the products I'm selling better in North India compared to South India? So all those things, analytics, like geographical nature is another dimension. Vendors, what are the vendors that are giving me a good discounts? Vendor is another dimension. Okay, these are all the different dimensions we're going to cover. We're going to highlight in the data warehouse analysis. Okay, so this is another slide that will give some more details about operational versus data warehouse. So it gives insight a little bit more. And then coming to the definitions. So we talk about Kimball definition and Inman approach, because these are the two different gurus for data warehouses. They are the ones who introduced data warehouse into the business area. Kimball is still out there in the market. He still gives a lot of lectures. He is still very active in the data warehouse field. In fact, he just announced retirement, I think, recently in a few months. They said that they will still continue some more time in this year, and after that they completely stay behind the scenes, because they pretty much retired from the field. So there's going to be a lot of material out there, but they won't be actively replying or responding. So Kimball is a good architect for a data warehouse. He has his own philosophy on this, and then he introduced a lot of nice concepts around data warehousing. So in his view, data warehouse is a copy of a transactional data. Okay, so it's a copy of transactional data structured for querying and analysis. See the difference? I think one of you, Karthik, you already asked the question. There is an answer right on the slide. In what way data organized in database different from the data in the data warehouse? Data organized in the database is more geared towards processing. How fast I can process the transaction. Okay, if somebody is trying to go online and try to reserve, so I should be able to process the transaction so fast. If you want to buy a seat in the railways traveling from Chennai to Delhi, I want to block a specific seat. If I see it available, if I process, it should be processed right away for him. It should not delay and then after a few seconds come back and say, sorry, somebody else took the seat from what you were looking before. So if that is the case, then it's not, the transactional processing is not good. Okay, so a database application is so good if it handles the transactions effectively. Okay, whereas a data warehouse application is so good if it handles the querying and analysis effectively. Okay, I'm not going to process the data, loading the data in the data warehouse the time when I'm processing something. I would like to extract the data and run the query. If I'm doing the analysis of data last 3 years, okay, I'm trying to analyze what I have done in the last 3 years in Mumbai market. Okay, I'm scoped down my analysis search to Mumbai market, but I expanded for last 3 years. You see here, I need to find my data warehouse, which has tons of data in it, and now I need to go into scope down into Mumbai market, expanding for the last 3 years, and how fast I can get this data out. If I have 10 years worth of data in my data warehouse, I'm going down to one particular region and expanding to 3 years out of 10 years, and how fast I can get the data to my user. And if I request this query, if it takes half an hour to get the results onto my screen, I don't like this data warehouse. I don't need this data warehouse. Okay, if that query comes back quickly, like in a reasonable amount of time, I know very well I have millions of records in the data warehouse and it takes 5 minutes, I will wait for 5 minutes because it gives a lot of information. It has to do a lot of analysis behind the scenes, going through all the data, going to this particular region, narrow down and expanding to 2-3 years, and it is going to take 3-4 minutes. Users are going to wait for it. Whereas in an operational system, if you say I'm going to take 3 minutes to process your transaction, I don't think people will like it. So that is the difference between data warehouse and database applications. There's a lot of difference. The way people look at it is differently. I have an example. We have an SAP system. We also have SAP BW. And in SAP system, they try to do some kind of analysis on some data, and most of the time the query fails because the volume of data is so much, and they never get the results out. We pushed everything into data warehouse, and then we did the same analysis, and users can run the report. They get the data in 6-7 minutes. So there you can see their happiness when they saw the results in the data warehouse. So that is the difference between a database and a data warehouse. Some of the times, the database applications are designed in such a way that they are more tuned for transactional processing. They are not good for querying large volumes of data. They are not good for querying, analyzing large volume of data. Whereas data warehouse is designed in such a way that it is good for querying, analyzing large volumes of data. Okay, so that's, I hope I explained that there, Mr. Karthik there. Okay, that's good. Manpreet, the database data and transactional data are same or not, as both can be queried? Yes, both are same. I'm not going to manipulate any data here. The transactional data that you have in your OLTP system is what we are going to push into data warehouse. But we are going to put the data in the data warehouse in a slightly different format, but the same data. If there is a sale, $10 or 100 rupees sale in India for a particular purchase, we're not going to change any of those values because then you're morphing the data. The transactional data will stay as it is. The way we present is going to be different. The way we are going to load is different. We're not going to manipulate any data. The only thing is we're going to move fields differently and we organize the data differently, and we're only going to move what we need into the data warehouse. There's different things that we play. We're going to touch those concepts in detail, but it's a good questions. But I hope you're able to follow me my answers here. In-memory database can replace OLAP or data warehousing feature. I will really make a nice in-memory database that can accommodate many data. Excellent, Mr. Vimal Kumar, you are well ahead of start there. In-memory database is it's been in the marketplace for the last 3-4 years. I would say 5 years. They introduced before 5 years, which was not really big. But last couple of years, I think these vendors are trying to sell a lot on in-memory databases. I strongly agree. In-memory databases could replace OLAP, okay, but at the same time, some of the multi-dimensional analysis that you have, I think we have some of the tools. I think, in fact, in our organization, we have a tool called ClickView. It is a tool which is in-memory data warehouse tool. They build large volume of data in a cube in the memory so that it can run very quick, very fast. But some of these tools that I have seen in memory tools, they are good in some aspects they are not good. We have some takeaways. For example, in one of the in-memory database tools that we have, I cannot schedule any of the reports that I would like to have. I have to always go online and do the reporting. I don't know, Vimal, you have a tool that can schedule my reports up front, and when I come in there, the report is already there for me. In-memory databases are really good for quickly analyzing data because the database is in the memory, like a RAM. And because these days the memory is getting cheaper and cheaper, we are moving towards RAM, which is also there, cheaper. So we are trying to build these massive databases or data warehouses right in the memory, which will give the results much faster. I think that's where we are going, but at the same time, there are some issues. I don't know, Mr. Vimal Kumar, you can answer me. Can you schedule some of the reports up front? Let us say I have this in-memory data warehouse, and I want to run a report at 4 o'clock in the morning because I know the database updated at 4 o'clock. Right away, run the report. It might take 2 minutes, and then have the results available, emailed to me in my inbox, so that I come in morning 8 o'clock. I don't have to go log in anywhere. I have my report on my inbox, and I can see the results. Can that be a feasibility in your in-memory database? I don't know. I have seen the tool that we have in our organization. It's a great tool for in-memory, but it doesn't have this feature. And majority of my users like this feature. They don't want to even get into the tool. They just schedule once and then have the report delivered to their doorstep whenever they come in. So it's just we just need to see the advantages of these tools. Okay, more improvement in hardware improvement we have, but yeah, I agree 100%. These days, yes, we have in-memory databases out there, and we are going to touch some of those examples here. But I don't know if they will replace the OLAP or not. It's just an interesting question. Data transformation, not part of data warehouse. Yes, we're going to touch on data transformation. There is part of data warehouse because we need to transform the data in such a way that it's going to be useful for the data warehouse. When I say transformation, the transformation is limiting to some characteristics here. We're not going to transform the actual sales transactions, actual stuff. We're going to transform to a business meaningful transformation from a business data. Okay, we're going to touch those in the ETL lecture. Okay, I'll put everything in one place. Yes, that is right. Database can replace OLAP. I think we touched already on this. Nice in-memory database. Okay, so data warehouse cannot be manipulated, but in the database it can be manipulated. Yes, that's right. In the data warehouse, I don't want anybody to come in and manipulate the data because it is kind of data that is based on a transactional system. You're not having any transactions here. It is there for you to do the analysis, make some decisions on top of it, and then apply those decisions on the transactional system, not on the data warehouse system. So we'll go in detail as we go. We'll have more examples. Data which is present in the data warehouse is always well formatted information. Yes, the data in the data warehouse, we'll build the data warehouse based on the user needs. We don't build data warehouse just like that. So it is formatted. It is as per the needs of the data, as per the needs of the users. Like for example, analysis and all that. As you can see here, the form of the stored data is again database, RDBMS, relational database model. RDBMS is relational database management systems. Something is a data warehouse or not. Okay, it's basically used for decision makers. Again, we talked about this again and again. Inman approach is slightly different than the Kimball approach. So here he talks about subject-oriented, integrated, non-volatile, time variant. Again, it's basically in case of Inman approach, data warehouse is pretty much in a relational model, little bit expansion to the traditional transactional system. But here again, the data is stored in a star schema format. But in case of dimensional modeling that Kimball has, he clearly says what are my dimensions, what are my measurements, and then based on that you build a data warehouse. In case of Inman, you just dump everything from transactional system and then build on top of it. So it's slightly different, but both approaches work well, and we have data warehouses in our organization. Well, in the beginning, I think in 2004, we built a data warehouse using Inman approach, and then recently, in 2010, I think 2010 or something like that, we built a data warehouse using Kimball approach. So both works good for me. So I don't have any preference on one over the other. Both works well. So it's just a model approach that they have. Okay. Also, can in-memory database can have persistent data? That is a good question, Mr. Sandeep. I think they do claim they have a persistency in the data. That means the data in memory, they're going to keep it for a long time, and it's not going to be like a volatile data. It's going to move away. So they have all that features, but again, there is some limitations there. So it has to be refreshed or reloaded whenever there is change, and it will take some time, just like what a typical data warehouse load is going to take. But it is a persistent according to them. The scheduling done through the batch files. Manpreet, I don't know what scheduling you can do there, but some of these tools that are there for BI tools, they will support some of these scheduling aspects to the user directly, not going to the IT people. Users can themselves schedule reports that they would like, and then make them available to them via email or through a PDF format, whatever it is. So the tools are capable, but some of these online database tools that we have today, I have seen some of them lacking that feature. So that's what I said when somebody said here, I like in-memory database. Is it going to replace OLAP? I don't know. I can't answer that question clearly. Is it going to replace? I think it is. It has a marketplace nowadays. People like to use in-memory because of the fast. Again, even SAP HANA is in-memory. So they are trying to sell their product using those technological improvements that we have in the marketplace. Explain star schema. We will touch that in very detail in the next few lectures here. So let's not go there at this point. But this star schema is a design model for a data warehouse so that it makes more meaningful for the reporting. Okay, so it's already past the timeline here. It's 9 o'clock for you in India. So let me stop the recording here, and I'm going to stop the lecture here. We only covered the definitions here in this lecture today, but I'm here to answer some of your questions. It is also available for those who leave the session so that they come back and then view those question answers. Okay, so now I'm going to stop sharing any of the lectures that we have here, slides here. So let me primarily focus on the questions. Okay, so when this document will be available on this site, these particular slides are already on the website, Taxila. It's there. If you go to lecture 1, there's a PDF document. They upload it in the PDF format. It's already there. You can download and take a look at it. And the lecture videos, like I said, this will be uploaded probably by tomorrow or by Monday, the latest. Okay. Okay, that's a good suggestion there, Madhava. Slide numbers. Okay, I will add those slide numbers. Okay, it's a good thought. I never thought about it. I will make sure you have slide numbers going forward so that it's easy for you to keep them in sequence. I agree 100%. Okay, that's good. Yeah, recordings typically, like I said, what happens is after the lecture is done, it will take a day for the WI, the Texela team to download the videos from the WebEx that we have, and then they need to upload it to Texela. So it is a process they do for every course. So they just need time to do for this. So it's not just my course, so it's all the courses they have to do. So typically they say in 24 to 48 hours it will be available. So just bear in mind that, and it will be there. But it is again the beginning of the course, so beginning of semesters it will be slow. But as we get on things going here, it will be available right away. Yes, we will put the lectures before the lecture, before the slides before the lecture. That's for sure. Like I said, these slides were already there earlier this morning. I will try to make sure the slides are available at least a day or two before, so that you can download and start viewing them. Yeah, that's fine. That's okay for me. So I will make sure they're available a day or two ahead of the lecture time. Okay. So we do have a lecture tomorrow again. Uh, so try to attend if you can. Otherwise, you can always go through the lectures online through the videos. Yes, Rajat Agarwal, that's a good one. Okay. 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 Thanks, Pradeep. That's good. Okay. Sandeep Arora. Okay. So, any hint on direction which I can think before reading from text or lecture, as you how data warehouse makes it easy for analysis. There's some thought process. Again, like I said, this course, when you come to the lectures, if you could read the book, I think the textbook is very simple. They have given very good examples. Both textbooks are very simply written. They have nice examples. You can easily follow through those examples without any help. But if any questions you have from the book, you can always post it here. I will be able to answer those questions. I might say that I might have to come back to you later, but I will come back to you. But for sure, yes, you can go through the book, and also the slides that is more self-explanatory here. I try to put as much as possible in the slides. Typically, I will take some more examples myself, but it is there. Okay, so read the book and then take some examples, and then it should be good. Okay, so like I said, very high level today in this lecture. I want everybody to gain. My focus here was, okay, what is the data warehouse, OLTP, OLAP, difference between big data, data mining. There's too many buzzwords around, and same thing, like people will say I'm working in business analytics. Some people say I'm working in BI. Some people say I'm working in data warehouse. Some people say I'm working in big, whatever it is, big data. At the end of the day, it's somewhere they're related, and in fact, business analytics, data warehouse, BI, they're all might be same. Some people just use a different terminology at different times. Okay, so just have to bear with that. Okay, so let's see if there are any other questions. Elaborate on the in-memory database. Okay, like I said, it's a recent technology, last 5-6 years. What they try to do is, as you know, I said, data warehouses has a lot of data. Okay, so it has historical data. I think that is the beauty of data warehouse, because it has historical data, and because it has historical data, that will help do the analysis much better. Okay, so I can always compare what we did last quarter. Okay, let us say in the last year winter in Wisconsin, we had sub-zero temperatures for a long period of time. Okay, so it was not planned, it just came to us. And so many businesses around here didn't have enough clothing, okay, in the market, in the shelves, or to support that kind of temperatures. So, so if I go back to 2014 and analyze the data, if I try to find one particular product that supports this cold weather to help the cold weather, and most of the places this is out or it's back order, that clearly tells that they were not prepared. So this year, based on the forecast, now you need to see what is the forecast. Okay, let's at least order some. At least it's available on the shelf. It happens, so at least it's available for the people to use. So now that based on our experience in the last year, so you're prepared for this year. Okay, if you didn't have the data to go back and look at it last year and easily, that's the key point. I should be able to analyze the data easy. I shouldn't wait hours and hours to go back and look what I did last year. Then it's not going to be useful. So that is the nature of data warehouse. And as we have a lot of data, people already started thinking, as memory getting cheaper and cheaper, they started thinking, why don't we put this everything in the memory? Okay, again, the way the computer works, the memory is the place where things will run very fast. Anytime you're trying to deal with a disk, you're spending a lot of time extracting back and forth from the disk itself is a lot of CPU time that you're taking. So that is where the researchers start, okay, let's put everything in the memory as the memory is getting cheaper and cheaper and see how things. So yeah, they are right. They could put everything in the memory and make it persistent. And some of you are asking, it is persistent. It's not going to be volatile. Like typically, the memory data is a volatile. It's going to be erased. But I think now they're trying to make it persistent. It is available for the users to use for a longer period of time. And then it is there so that it can run faster when trying to pull the data out of that. It is really fast because it's in the memory. You're not wasting time back and forth from the disk, reading the data from the disk. So that is basically in-memory concept, but it is still not cheap. Okay, people say it is cheaper. It is, you can get everything in memory, but it is not. If the memory is cheaper, the disk is still cheaper, significantly cheaper. So, so what is the relative term for which how cheap it is? So that is what you need to evaluate. If the organization has money you would like to spend for in-memory, go ahead and spend money on in-memory database, and then it will be really faster. Okay, and I'm sure a lot of big organizations, they are spending money to go in that direction and seeing the results that they would like to see. But like I said, in one of my data warehouse that is claimed as in-memory data warehouse, it doesn't have all the data warehouse features that our users are expecting. So in that case, what happens is, it's a good tool, it is faster, but it's not meeting some of my user needs. So then it's not a tool that I'd like to have in my organization. So that's how it goes, the argument goes here. So in-memory databases are the latest trend. Like SAP is trying to sell their HANA. SAP HANA is in-memory database. So it is. So they're telling, okay, so SAP HANA is kind of a real-time database for a lot of big analytics like this, but they're still selling their product like Business Objects for further analytics. Okay, so SAP HANA is one side, and then they're not discounting their Business Objects data warehouse that they have. So you can see themselves they're trying to sell based on the user needs. Okay, do you want the analytics done on a day-old data? You go to Business Objects. Do you want the analytics done on real-time data? Come to SAP HANA, because everything is there right there. Okay, so again, it's a choice that you need to make, and the money you have to spend. So you go with that. Hope Rajat Agarwal, it's clear now. So I try to explain a little bit. Can you tell me what does data analyst, data scientist does? Okay, I'm Mr. Om Prakash. Again, these days, the scientists in the data warehouse, like I said, the in-memory database is a big thing. Trying to come up with the different tools that can help in data, in-memory databases. And then also, there's always challenges in the data warehousing area. For example, Kimball Group, I would consider them as a scientist in the data warehousing area. Kimball Group keep coming with the different upgrades to the concept they came out with in the data warehouse area. So it's always evolving area. Kimball Group still comes up with the tips. They call it the Kimball Group design tips. So I'm going to share some of those for our discussion groups. So we'll touch those things. So basically, in this field, the scientists are mainly geared towards what all things we can improve in the ETL area. What all things, because there's a lot of ETL tools out there in the marketplace. There's a lot of tools in BI space, business intelligence space. There's a lot of tools like in the design space. So there's a lot of room for improvement there too. So I think the scientists have a lot of area to work with. Okay. Jatin, is there weekly assignments for this course? No, there's no weekly assignments, but for sure I will have some discussions going online that is going to expand the reading area, research area for this course. So feel free to join those discussions in the Textula forum so that it gives more knowledge improvements there, but I don't have any weekly assignments. Typically in my class here in university that I teach here, we do have weekly assignments, but for this course, as long as you prepare, go through the material, come prepare for the questions and be active in the discussion boards, that it serves as weekly assignments for you. Okay. Transactions day to day. So as which point data warehouse update will have data? Yes. So we're going to touch those points in depth. Naman Gupta there, but as I said, database is operational day-to-day transactional. Data warehouse is expanding the data from the operational into the data warehouse. So typically there will be delay. So I would say in the data warehouse applications, we tend to say to the business saying that any transaction that happened yesterday will be available today. Okay, with a 1-day lag. So if you're trying to do analysis on today's transactions, data warehouse will not have the data. You have to wait for tomorrow to have today's transactions in the data warehouse. Yeah, the terminology, I think, Mr. Vaibhav, I think it's slightly different. Data warehousing fundamentals for IT professionals, a comprehensive data for IT professionals. So I'm going to clarify that. Okay, so let me show you next week what book I have. So it's just going to be more. I think it's a green color book. I think, but I will try to show that. Exams will be comprehensive. It's not objective type. The quizzes are going to be more multiple choice questions. So you'll have those in the next three quizzes for this component. Do we load all the data in the database into data warehouse to analyze? Yes, all the data coming from database has to be loaded in the data warehouse before you can start analyzing. But do we load all the data, everything from the database? Not really. You load what you need for the analysis. Let us say I'm only going to measure the sales, so you only load the sales and associated dimensions. So we're going to touch those concepts. Okay. So it looks like we covered most of the questions. Any other questions still you have? Please post. Otherwise, we'll catch up tomorrow night. Okay. Good night, everyone. Thank you.